Hello, welcome to In Your Face. I'm Ben Davidoff with my co-hosts Chris Pollock and Noah Wheeler. Today we will be debating 3 controversial baseball topics, starting off with A-Rod, Hall of Fame or not? Chris, your take.
No, A-Rod is not a Hall of Famer, and let me tell you why. No person that has taken steroids in their career who has blatantly broken the rules. In fact, he's broken the rules multiple times. He was suspended over 200 games. No person who has broken the rules that much should be allowed in the pantheon of greats.
Are you done now? Are you done? Oh, good. So now I can start speaking reason. All right, cool. So basically, on a simple note, when you're the youngest player to have 300 home runs, 6,000 home runs, elevate the game to a strong level, you might make some mistakes here and there. And I bet you that everyone here has made mistakes. I don't talk about how
A-Rod's taken steroids multiple times.
Yes, but you're missing the point. You gotta fall down to get back up. Do you think that you think that Manny Ramirez didn't take steroids? Do you know?
He did. He got caught.
Yeah,
3
Barry
times
Bonds too. But
he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame either.
So you think that players that fail and get back up to succeed shouldn't be allowed to?
The thing is that they broke the rules in the first place.
Okay, now on to the next topic. The Dodgers currently have 27 players on their disabled list, including Clay Kershaw. Do you think that they have a good enough roster without one of their best pitchers to make the playoffs this year?
You know, I do, because since Kershaw's gone out, the Dodgers have actually significantly improved. When Kershaw got out, they were about 8 games behind the Giants. They pulled into a first-place tie before yesterday's loss. Their team is good enough because of their offense. Look at their infield. Yasmani Grandal in the second half is hitting .360 with 11 home runs. It's crazy. Adrian Gonzalez is one of the most solid players in the league. Chase Utley is fantastic. Corey Seager is going to be the Rookie of the Year, and Justin Turner's been fantastic. Their outfield has gotten really hot of late. Rob Seguin's come up. He's made an impact. Jock Peterson's doing really well.
Now that is where you're wrong there, because I'm not sure if you know, but if you're losing to teams under 500, Chris, it doesn't make you a good caliber team. The Giants are going to clearly win the NL West. They're going to go on, make the World Series, and they're going to win it. The Dodgers can't be losing to teams under 500. If they are, then they're not good enough to make the playoffs.
The Dodgers won 2 out of 3 from the Phillies.
Yes, but you're missing the point. If you're losing to teams, no matter if it's 2 out of 3 without, and yes, you're winning the series, but you're missing the point.
Okay. Let's move on to our last topic of the day. The Angels currently have one of the best players in baseball, arguably the best player in baseball, in Mike Trout. And they are arguably one of the worst teams in the MLB. Do you think that they should trade him or not?
I believe that they should trade Mike Trout. And the reason that they should trade Mike Trout is because their farm system is the worst in the league. Only one player in the Angels farm system could be in the top 10 in the Astros farm system. That is how bad the Angels farm system is. And Mike Trout is good enough that they can get 3, 5, maybe even 7 top 10 prospects. And they could get one of the best farm systems in the league. They could build their way back up.
Hey, shut up. Let me just tell you something right now. They got someone in Mike Trout who is, yes, right now the Angels are one of the worst teams in the MLB. You make a very legitimate point. But do you think that by trading away their only prospect, the only chance they have to make the playoffs is going to make them a better team? They got Albert Pujols who is shooting home runs. Have you seen the bullpen of the Angels? They're playing great. And it's okay.
Okay, well, for all of us here from In Your Face, I'm Ben Davidoff. This is Chris Pollock and Noah Wheeler.
Welcome to In Your Face. I'm Will Wiggleman, along with Justin Borsis and Keenan Albin. Today we will be discussing who will be the national champion, Carson Wentz or Jared Goff, who's going to be better, and A-Rod, Hall of Fame or Hall of Shame. Let's start off with the national champion. Who do you think it's going to be, Justin?
I got LSU. You got a guy like Leonard Fournette in the backfield. Les Miles is your head coach. You got a defense who may underperform but could rise to the occasion. You got Cam Cameron, offensive coordinator. He is a genius. And with Fournette as a beast, look out. They could be big.
LSU hasn't won a national championship in a while. I think the last time was when they beat Florida. Alabama has won national championships, 4 of them just in the recent years. Nick Saban has shown that he's the best coach in college football. And this team obviously has the talent to win it all because they're ranked number 1 in the preseason polls.
But I think they have quarterback questions for
They
the
do
first
have
time in a
quarterback
long time.
questions, but they've had quarterback questions before.
That's
Just
true.
last year and 2 years ago, they had quarterbacks competing all the way up until week 1 without people knowing who they were going to start, and they've won national championships despite that.
Understand.
All right, Carson Wentz or Jared Goff? Who you got?
I think Jared Goff is going to be the better quarterback. He's the number 1 overall pick because the Rams know he's going to be the better quarterback. Yes, I know there are the arguments against him that he's small, his hands might be small. He has tremendous accuracy. He's a smart guy. He's from the University of California, one of the best schools in the country. And so he's shown he has smarts. He knows how to play football. He has tremendous accuracy. Some of the throws that he's made have been incredible. And I know people argue inconsistency, but he's young. He's going to figure it out. It won't be immediately, but in a few years he'll be a great quarterback.
I like Wentz. I think he's a smaller guy, can run a little bit better, and I also think the fact that you come from a small college makes it a little easier because you don't have that star, power coming from a school like Cal or Stanford or USC, which makes these kind of players sleepers, and these kind of players may be better players in the future.
I know Wentz has won a ton of national championships, but they're at the FCS level. He has shown, he's beat a couple of FBS teams, but I don't think he's shown enough to prove that he's going to be a better quarterback than Jared Goff.
All right, A-Rod, Hall of Fame or Hall of Shame?
I think he's going to be in. When you look at a guy, I don't agree with it, but he will be there. When you look at a guy like Mike Piazza, there were some questions about him. He ended up in there. Bonds, because of his numbers, he'll be in there. And you look at the seasons that these people have had when they supposedly did not take steroids, when the years of, 2014 with the biogenesis, we all know he took it, but those years before that were solid seasons where nobody said anything. So I think in the end he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
A-Rod is a cheater. By taking steroids, you say, hey, I'm a coward. I know I'm not good enough to get this done without the help of illegal drugs. He does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame because he did not put up these numbers legitly. I know they're incredible stats, but he was cheating and he was taking steroids. Therefore, he should not be in the Hall of Fame.
All right, thank you. From In Your Face, I'm Will Wigman.
I'm Justin Borsis.
And I'm Keenan Albin.
Good night.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to In Your Face. I'm Harrison Rosenthal alongside my co-hosts Sean Day and Brittany Gelman. And today we're going to be talking about 3 very controversial topics that are going on in the sports world right now. Let's start off with the Los Angeles Rams moving back to Los Angeles after 21 years in St. Louis. Do they start Case Keenum or Jared Goff at quarterback? John, let's start with you.
I think they start Jared Goff. I mean, you had the number 1 overall pick, and you wanted a quarterback to start week 1, and you picked Jared Goff. Jared Goff is your plug-and-play starting quarterback for week 1. I obviously think they're going to start him.
I think you go with Case Keenum. I mean, he earned the starting job with the last 5 games of last year's season. He's the starting quarterback as of now. You just brought in this rookie. Yes, he's the first overall pick, and yes, he's probably going to be good. But I still think you start the veteran until the rookie proves otherwise.
I think otherwise, but I do hear your points. Your points are good, but honestly, if you wasted, why would you trade all the way up from, I don't even know what pick they had, all the way up from their pick to number 1? Why would you take a quarterback instead of like an offensive lineman or something, or somebody else?
Another need that they needed to fill. Let's move on to our second topic today. Does Tim Tebow sign with an MLB team? Brittany, let's start with you on this.
I think yes. I mean, I think one of the teams will pick him up. He's a football quarterback. It's like, I just feel like someone would pick him. I mean, you don't know if he's good yet, but you can still give him a trial.
I don't think so. I mean, did he even play baseball in college? If he did, I didn't hear anything about it, and he didn't. Okay, he's not a baseball. He hasn't proved that he's a baseball player. Yet he didn't play college level baseball. I mean, you still should give him a tryout, but I don't think he's going to sign with the team.
Yeah, but he was great in high school. He had a 4.25 average.
But
or
that was
something
high school.
Like
That was high
But
school.
he also made All-State. I mean, yeah, he didn't play college, but he also played football, so he has an arm. So they could at least give him a shot.
They could give him a shot, but that's high school. I mean, there's a difference between college and pros. And pros are way more different than any other type of baseball there is out there.
There were rumored talks this morning that the Dodgers were holding a private workout for Tim Tebow. Now, onto our third and final topic of today. If Kevin Durant stays in Oklahoma City, does Russell Westbrook sign the extension with them?
No, he does not sign the extension. I think he's going to finish out his contract, maybe even try to get a new contract with OKC, or maybe even test the free agent market and get some more money.
I think he should resign. I mean, I think he would. If Kevin Durant stayed, you still have like the exact same power team. You were up 3-1 on the Warriors. Why would you leave when you still had a chance that could have gotten you to the finals and played Cleveland? I mean, they probably would have fallen to Cleveland anyway in the finals, but you still could have gotten to the finals. Why would you go anywhere when you have this chemistry that you might not have elsewhere?
Well, you might have it elsewhere. I mean, you might just want to test the free agent market, get a little bit more money, and then maybe even try to win a championship somewhere else, since you've failed a lot of other times.
And that's going to do it for us today on In Your Face. Alongside Brittany Gelman and John Day, I'm Harrison Rosenthal. Thanks for listening in. Good night.
Hi, welcome to In Your Face. I'm Chandler Dugard here with Alex Legamaro and Brittany Cairns. So ladies, with Kevin Durant going to the Warriors, possibly creating a super team, are super teams good or bad for the NBA?
I personally think they're bad, mainly because you only have the Cavaliers and the Warriors as the two best teams in the NBA. So for people wanting to watch their favorite team, they pretty much know that they don't have a realistic shot at the finals, so why would they bother watching their favorite team? Even Commissioner Adam Silver has said he doesn't want two super teams. He thinks it's bad for his league.
Well, there's more to the NBA than just the finals. Players, fans, they enjoy watching their teams play for the whole entire season. Yes, it's awesome to win the finals and it's great to go watch them in the playoffs, but the NBA sports in general is more than just a win-lose situation. It's about the experience, and either way, teams will still make money and revenue in the regular season.
I agree with that. I think it's more so about what happens during the actual season than playoffs. But I want to hear what you guys think about who's going to the World Series.
Well, this is a tough one. It's still a little early, but I do think that the Texas Rangers have a pretty good shot. With the trade from Milwaukee with Lucroy, I think the Texas Rangers have a decent chance of winning the AL West and potentially the whole American League.
Brittany?
Well, I do think the Texas Rangers are a good pick. I feel like the Chicago Cubs have an even better chance. If you look at the top of their lineup to down, they have Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Addison Russell. Those are very good players, but you can't count out the San Francisco Giants either because it is an even year.
Alex?
I mean, I can't argue with that. Stats are there, but personally, I just think Texas Rangers will go all the way.
Okay. I want to hear, this is my favorite question because I really want to hear what you guys have to say. Who do you think is the hottest NFL player?
Whew. I mean, that's
I can start if you don't want.
Gotta go with my boy Mark Sanchez. Don't really like the way he plays. Don't really like the teams he's been on, but can't argue with those looks, ladies. Am I right?
For me, I think it's Eric Decker. Granted, I'm a huge Jets fan, but come on, look at that face. It's Eric Decker.
I'm going to disagree with both of you. I think Luke Kuechly is by far the hottest NFL player there is right now.
Okay, understandable.
Okay, thank you so much for watching In Your Face. I'm Chandler Dugard with Brittany Cairns and Alex Legamaro.
Welcome to Mariners All Access. This is your host, Kyle Grassel, with partners David Orlinsky and Rory B. The Mariners are now 1.5 games out of the wild card in the American League, 1.5 games back of the Boston Red Sox. David, do you think the Mariners will get the wild card and get in the playoffs and ending their long playoff drought?
Oh, of course they will. I mean, Kyle, they've won 6 straight. They're currently 1.5 games out of the wild card, as mentioned. And they have an easy schedule coming up. The next 5 opponents they face are all under 500, and Cano and Cruz are starting to show some chemistry, so I think they will.
How about you, Rory?
Yeah, they got the A's for 3, the Angels for 4, and the Brewers for 3, just in their next 10. And those teams, as we all know, are not performing at their prospective level that they wanted to perform, and they all have losing records, as you said. And so these next 10 games are really the big factor, because this is where they can make their move before they play the tough teams again.
Do you think they can catch the Rangers in the AL West?
7 games and only 50 left. I don't think that's going to happen because the Rangers are not going to tank. I
Yeah.
don't think.
The Rangers are really hot right now. And other news, the Mariners have a new relief pitcher who is a very young pitcher named Edwin Diaz. He has been big lately for the Mariners. And David, do you think he'll be a top-tier closer?
Well, Kyle, with Edwin Diaz, you're looking at a young man who's shown great velocity in his fastball, and he has a nasty slider to back that up. But I think he needs some more experience in the major leagues before we can use him as a closer, so he's going to be an eighth-inning man for now. But I think Fernando Rodney and him in the bullpen will be great, and it'll supplement Mariners to victories.
Yeah, he's only 22, and he was actually a high draft pick in the 3rd round out of 70, and he's got 58 strikeouts and only 8 walks, 1.74 ERA. Up-and-coming man, very young. I mean, Felix wasn't even very good in his first couple years in the league. It took him a while, so I think this guy has a good shot to become a great pitcher.
Yeah, so the Mariners do have great relievers, but that leaves starting pitching. David, do you think the Mariners have the starting pitching to do well in the playoffs?
Unfortunately, not right now. You only need 3 starters for the playoffs, however, and Felix Hernandez and Heishi Iwakuma are both aces that could do very well. Now, for a 3rd starter in the playoffs, we're looking at Marinda, who is a minor leaguer with a 6.0 ERA, Wade LeBlanc, who was just acquired from Miami with a 4.71 ERA, and Tom Wilhelmsen, a converted long reliever with a 7.13 ERA. So I think they're losing some depth in starting pitching, but we have to see if the hitting can carry them through the playoffs.
I've always felt bad for starters like Felix because he can go through a game, only give up 1 or 2 runs, and then they can't get any run support behind him. Just saw that the other day in a game, and so they ended up losing the game. He got a no decision because even though he pitched 1 earned run, and so that sort of thing is sad. And when you can't get run support, you can't win games in the playoffs, especially because those are the elite hitting teams, elite pitching teams. So it's important for them to turn that around at least.
Do you think, how far do you think the Mariners will go in the playoffs? Because you both said they
Unfortunately, I think they're going to lose in the wild card game because the Texas Rangers are by far have a demanding lead in the American League West, and catching them would be very hard to do. So I think they're going to have very good hitting, and I think their pitching is going to have to get a little bit better and for them to move ahead in the playoffs.
Yeah, if they end up playing the Red Sox are, you could say, a better team than them pretty much definitively. So that'll be a interesting matchup.
All right, thank you for listening to Mariners All Access. I'm Kyle Grossel with David Orlinsky and Rory B. Thank you for listening and good night.
I'm Bo Garvey and welcome back to In Your Face. Here today I'm with Jake Austin and Jack Weinman. Our first topic is going to be who in the NFL is going to have the best comeback year.
Well, I'm going to have to go with the Baltimore Ravens. You know why? First of all, they got a big help on defense with signing Eric Weddle. He's really been helping the secondary. They were second last in the league in interceptions. That he will really help. He's a great safety, and now he's got fire against San Diego. Second, they were plagued by injuries last year. First of all, they led the league in injuries and players on DL. They lost players like Terrell Suggs, Joe Flacco, Justin Forsett. And the only defense player that they had left was C.J. Mosley. You're not going to do well on defense like that, and you're definitely not going to make the playoffs. So they also got a great offensive lineman in their player, and yeah.
No, I think it's definitely the Cowboys this year because they got Ezekiel Elliott, and after coming off like a 4-12 year last year, they definitely want to win. So they need to have motivation, and I think they can do it with their new running back.
All right.
Who do you guys think is going to win the World Series this year? Jake?
I think it's the Cubs. They already have a 71-41 record, and they had practically the whole NL All-Star team was theirs. They have Anthony Rizzo, they have Ben Zobrist, and they have a really good pitching staff too. I don't think they can be stopped.
Well, actually, I'm disagreeing with you. Here's what I have to say. First of all, injuries can happen at any point in the season. Imagine if Anthony Rizzo or Chris Bryant went down.
Well, they have so much depth, they can still win.
No, they don't.
They can win.
They just traded away a bunch of their depth for Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah.
If they have injuries, they're done. Also, Aroldis Chapman, he's already blown 1 save, and they gave up a lot of their prospects in the future. Also, there are tons of other great teams in the NL, such as the Giants or the Nationals, that can challenge them. They've both beaten them in the series, and especially the Giants. They are a great playoff team.
I think even if like Rizzo or someone gets hurt, they still have a ton of other all-star players that can pull the team's weight. So if Rizzo goes down, they put in their backup. I don't even know who it is, but whoever it is, they don't need to be the best player on the team. They still have.
But will they still be World Series worthy? Will they still beat the Nationals? Will they still beat the Giants?
I think they can do it.
For our last topic, do you guys think baseball should be an Olympic sport?
I'm going to say this. No. I'll tell you why. First of all, it takes forever to build a baseball stadium. It takes much longer to build a baseball stadium than it does to build a soccer stadium. First of all, you have to grow real grass on a baseball stadium. You have to mow it, and it's a completely different structure that takes much more time. Second, it's horrible timing because it's during the middle of the MLB season. You're gonna pull players away, and you're gonna stop baseball for 2 weeks. That could get tons of players into a funk.
Well, I think if basketball is an Olympic sport, baseball should be an Olympic sport. Because if only basketball players can get gold medals, why shouldn't baseball players?
Because it's not played enough around the world. There's tons of
They have the
international
World Baseball
players.
Classic.
That's not enough. There's basically Japan, Dominican Republic, and the United States.
Well, it's pretty
and
much
Cuba.
the same thing in basketball. The USA dominates each year.
But there's still great international players. Have you ever heard of Dirk Nowitzki? And look at Australia. They did a great challenge against the United States. And also, Canada's a real rising team.
I think if basketball players can do it, baseball players should do it.
That will be all for us today. I'm Bill Garvey here with Jake Austin and Jack Wyman, and this has been In Your Face.
You just say your name and then I'll count you down like yesterday.
Josh Mechanic.
Brett Barish.
Andrew Sefton.
Okay, so coming down in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello, and welcome to the first ever face-off between Andrew Sefton and Josh Mechanic. Our first topic will be the Cubs drought. What do you think, Andrew?
I do not think the Cubs will break the drought this year. I just think that the curse will live on. I don't know if it's meant to be this year. They don't have enough firepower, I think, to beat other teams frequently in this league.
I think the Cubs will definitely break the drought. Their starting rotation has 2 All-Stars in John Lester and Jake Arrieta, and Kyle Hendricks, who's leading the MLB in ERA, not counting Clayton Kershaw. Also, their hitting lineup, Anthony Rizzo, who's front runner right now for National League MVP, and Chris Bryant, also the sophomore sensation.
I just think that they're too young. Their team is just too young. Their star players are too young to make an impact in the playoffs, and I think they might choke late because they don't have the experience to win a World Series quite yet.
We can't forget about their bullpen, too. Aroldis Chapman, their big addition, and Hector Rondon, who's a great setup man for Aroldis Chapman. Not to mention Travis Wood, Pedro Strop, and all their other relievers.
Aroldis Chapman does not have a lot of experience, though, in the playoffs. Played on the Reds, played on the Yankees for a little bit, but he hasn't really been in the playoffs. Who knows how he performed, though?
Well, Joe Madden has been in the playoffs, and he's the best coach in football or baseball.
All right, so our next topic will be, will Steph Curry perform same or differently with Kevin Durant?
I think his style of play will change a lot because he has another shooter on his team, and that shooter is Kevin Durant, the former 2014 MVP. So I think his style of play will change. He'll be more of a, not pass first, totally point guard, but I think he'll be passing a lot more and not as shooting his threes as much as he used to.
I don't think that he's Curry. You know how cocky he is. He'll just keep shooting. His role should change, but I don't think it will. Knowing how he plays with his cocky style of play, I don't think his role will change.
I think if it doesn't change, it's going to affect the Warriors a lot, and I think that he is a team player and he does want to win, so I think that he will change his role in order to bring a championship to Golden State.
Well, Klay Thompson already said he's not changing his role, and they don't have another big man, so I think Durant's going to have to change his role. He's going to have to be a big man getting rebounds down low and maybe catch and shoot once in a while. And Curry, still, he's going to keep shooting, pulling up from half court and popping threes.
And our final topic will be, who do you think is the most overrated team in the NFL? Who's getting the most attention?
I think the Denver Broncos are the most overrated team in the NFL, coming off a Super Bowl win. They lost Peyton Manning, their Hall of Fame quarterback. Their defense is the only upside for them right now. Their offense is not looking great. C.J. Anderson is a shaky running back. You don't know what he's going to do. And their wide receivers, who knows how they're going to perform with a different quarterback in Mark Sanchez.
I think that the Green Bay Packers are very overhyped. I mean, Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb, they're both coming off injuries, so who knows if they'll be the same. And then Eddie Lacy was very overhyped last season, and he didn't even perform as well as anyone expected him to do. Their only star player, in my opinion, is Aaron Rodgers, their star quarterback.
I believe that their wide receivers, though, will be coming back and will perform well and help out Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know. They might help him out, but they probably won't be the same. And they're not. You can't forget about the defense. Defense is very important. Their defense isn't great. They don't have a star defense.
But their defense, I think, is solid enough to help them go far this year.
And that is it. That's it. Back to you.
Borna Nazari, Bornanazari.
Nick Pereira, Nickpereira.
Adam Glick, Adamglick.
Cool. Coming down in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello guys, and welcome to the Daily Sports Rap Show. Today we have a special event for you guys. It is a in-your-face battle between Borna Nazari and Adam Glick, both hailing from San Diego, California. And guys, the Padres last season they acquired 3 big players from trade: Matt Kemp, Justin Upton, and Will Myers, and they made a lucrative signing in James Shield. So guys, what do you think? Do you think the hoarding of talent was good for the Padres?
Good as in, was it good although the season was a failure?
Although the season was a failure, do you think the hoarding of talent was good for the team?
Absolutely. It absolutely was good. Although the Padres finished, I believe, 76 and 86, they didn't have a good year. It was so good for the city, the organization. They've been building up their farm system for so many years. Trey Turner, Joe Ross, Matthew Whistler, so many good farm systems. But there's a certain point in time where you need to trade in those chips for some big name players. Matt Kemp was in a trade. Justin Upton, we had to give up Matt Whistler in that trade. We got Melvin Upton Jr. We got Craig Kimbrell. The city of San Diego was excited. The team was excited. I mean, although this season was a failure, people were talking about San Diego. San Diego wasn't ESPN. San Diego wasn't Fox Sports 1. There was actually people talking about us. I don't care if the season was a failure. We were relevant, and it was exciting to watch.
I have to disagree with you there. I don't even care how good these players were. We gave away our farm system we've been working on for 4 to 5 years. They were about to come up, and we give it away not in a couple off seasons, in one off season. Matt Kemp, he is slow. He is slow. My grandma, he is faster than my grandma. Even if my grandma had glue stuck to her feet, he is a liability in the outfield. And Justin Upton, I don't care if he hits a bunch of home runs. He strikes out way too much, and he has no speed in the outfield. They can hit, but when defense is more important, defense wins championships, and they did not play any defense last year, and that's why they lost a bunch
of
games.
But Adam, if you have a ton of prospects in your farm system, you're not always going to call all of them up.
I understand that, but they gave away 7 of their 11, not 2 of their 11, 7 of their 11 in one offseason.
But we still have many other prospects in Hunter Renfroe and Austin Hedges.
All right, guys, diverging from the baseball diamond to hoops now. Dwayne Wade leaving the Miami Heat to go to the Chicago Bulls after a 13-year stint consisting of 3 NBA championships and 1 Finals MVP. Guys, what do you think this loss means for the team of the Miami Heat and also the city of Miami?
I think it was the right move by Pat Riley to walk away from Dwayne Wade. He's getting older. His contract was up, and he's a liability now. He's getting older, and let him go if he wanted. He got more money in Chicago.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, I'm not kidding you.
Dwayne Wade had one of the better seasons of his career last year, averaging 19 points and 6 rebounds. And Pat Riley, grow some hair, man. Offer this guy an extra $5 million and keep him in Miami. This guy brought the city 3 championships. He poured his blood, sweat, and tears into the city of Miami. Miami was always in the buzz, the streets. Dwayne Wade literally gave the city hope, and it paid off. You can't let him walk to his home city of Chicago because his real home is in Miami and South Beach.
All right, guys, third topic now, Rio Olympics. We all know USA Basketball are the heavy favorites to win the gold medal. Do you guys believe that any team has the chance to compete with them?
Absolutely not. Just because of Australia only lost by 10 last night, it was a group stage game. We have the best roster, clear cut, no doubt. We got Kevin Durant, DeAndre Jordan, Paul George, Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving. The list goes on and on and on and on of superstars that are all better than the best player on any single team in any other country. The USA is not going to get challenged. You can call last night a challenge in a group stage game, but the USA is going to win the gold in a sweat. They're going to run away from it. It's not going to even be a competition.
I disagree with you there. I think teams like Australia Australia and France with Patty Mills, Dellavedova. They played a great game last night. They were in the game. They were winning through the whole first half. They had the lead.
If all the
and
chips
2
fall,
points going to the fourth quarter.
If all the chips fall, the USA will only still win by 10 points.
They won by 10 points because of free throws. Then 5 points with a minute to go, and they are under talent. I don't care how talented you are. It's basketball. One game, one team can compete with any team for one game.
All I have to say is, we'll see.
We will see.
Great battle, you two. Now it is time to wrap up our show. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Welcome to ESPN In Your Face. I'm Jake Fitzgerald with Thomas Maloney and Noah Halber. Today we're going to be talking about Alex Rodriguez. Should he be in the Hall of Fame?
No. He should absolutely not be in the Hall of Fame. Steroids is cheating, regardless of whether he took it for 2 years or 20 years. The steroids improved his batting. It allowed him to be stronger, faster, improved his fielding. I think that if Alex Rodriguez didn't use their steroids, there's 20, 30 players that he was better than that he wouldn't have been without them.
I completely disagree with you. I think A-Rod should be in the Hall of Fame. A-Rod is one of the most skilled baseball players of all time, regardless if he took the steroids or not. We know he's a great hitter. He knows how to really hit the ball well on every at-bat, and he's a really talented fielder, picking up ground balls, throwing them perfectly accurate to first base, getting the batters out every single time.
Yeah, but that's because his strength has been improved without working out. It's because his speed has been improved artificially.
Yeah, but your strength doesn't. You need to know how to hit the ball well, and you need to know how to get the right contact. You know how to be good at swinging the bat. You need to know how to be good at hitting the ball perfectly to hit a home run.
Yeah, but there are hundreds of players in the MLB that can hit the ball perfectly fine, just like A-Rod can. The difference between A-Rod and those players is his power, how many home runs he can hit. And that's because he's had his strength artificially improved.
Yeah, and seeing what A-Rod did with the Seattle Mariners and all that stuff. But on to the next question. Seeing that national championship last year, who's going to compete this year?
I got Alabama winning it back-to-back championships. We all know what Nick Saban can do with any group of players. He's a phenomenal coach. He knows how to coach on offense and defense. I think he's going to take this Alabama team to back-to-back national championships. They also have their new quarterback, new running back, Bo Scarborough, who looked really good in the first scrimmage, and in these college training camps looks really well running the new offense.
I like Alabama's chances a lot. I like Michigan's chances more. Jim Harbaugh, as a coach, is exceptional. He steps into a Michigan program that wasn't winning a lot of games. They weren't up to standard for 10 years before Jim Harbaugh steps in. First year, all of a sudden they become a major Big Ten contender, and they're going to be an even more major Big Ten contender this year. They've got running back Davion Smith back. He was decent last year. He's going to be better this year. They returned 9 starters on offense, and including 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen from last season. That unit is going to be elite. Jake Butt as a tight end is, I would say, unmatched in the Big Ten. And their defense, returning Jabril Peppers at linebacker and Jordan Lewis at cornerback, is going to be nearly unstoppable.
They're going to compete with Nick Saban's college experience. He's been in the college game for a long time. Also was in the NFL game earlier. He knows football inside and out with both leagues. I think Alabama has a better shot.
But Jim Harbaugh also has been in both the NFL and college football. He was in college football forever. He took a Stanford program that had never been good, and he turned them into perennial contenders, which they still are to this day.
Okay, moving on to the next topic. We've heard about the super team with Kevin Durant and the Golden State Warriors. Is there a team that can compete with this team?
Absolutely not. There's way too much talent on that team. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. I don't care how many decent defenders you have on your team. There's no team out there that has 4 defenders who can defend all 4 of those players, and then go down the court on the next possession and score.
I disagree with you. It's the NBA. Talent spread wide all over the league. We all know what the Cavaliers did against the Warriors. Adding Kevin Durant just means a little more job for LeBron James to guard Kevin Durant. But we all know what LeBron does against Kevin Durant. LeBron's better. He's bigger. He's stronger. He's faster than Kevin Durant. And the emergence of Tristan Thompson on the Cavaliers over the last 2 years is really going to help them down low versus Draymond Green. I think if they meet in the finals, the Cavs take it again.
I think that Kevin Durant just provides that X factor that they didn't have last season, because Kevin Durant's a better scorer than Andre Iguodala, and with those 4 elite scorers, there's not enough players in the Cavaliers that can both defend them and go down the court and score as much as the Warriors are going to score. I don't think there's any team in the NBA that can compete.
I guess we'll see what happens.
Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in this ESPN In the Huddle, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much for joining.
2, 1, action.
All right, welcome to In Your Face with on NSR. I'm your moderator, Ryan Miller. Alongside me are my two competitors, Lucas Dodson and Eli Lesser. Boys, the first topic is the Warriors. We got Eli offending the Warriors. We got Lucas defending the Warriors. Go.
So what? They got Kevin Durant. Where's the depth? You guys, no centers, no power forward backups. Who is your shooting guard backup? James McAdoo? Like who?
He's a power forward.
Oh, never mind. Well, power forward backup anyways. James McAdoo. Who is he? He is not Bob McAdoo, his grandfather or father. I don't even know. But Warriors, I mean, yes, they have the nice starting lineup, but they have no center depth. They do not have anyone who will get the rebounds for them. I just don't see this team being as good as the team last year.
I'm not even going to let you finish. Okay, so let me name 3 players off the bench. Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, David West. Those 3 players alone off the bench. Just
Livingston is old.
Livingston
David West is
30.
old.
Livingston is 30 years old.
True, I mean,
and had his best season of his career last year. The man put up 20 points in the NBA Finals game off the bench. And LeBron James guarded him a good portion of that game.
Yeah, but he also guarded Steph Curry. What happened there?
Yeah, but are we talking about Steph Curry? No,
I'm just saying,
about
Warriors. We're on the Warriors.
Okay. And also in your topic about no backup shooting guard, well, Ray Allen's still a free agent.
Do you think they're really gonna... He's the one who is scared about Steph Curry catching up to him. Do you think he will sign on to Steph Curry's team? I don't think that's a possibility.
And let me tell you something else. Ray Allen is trying to pad his three-point lead. Any team he plays for, he will pad the three-point lead.
But why would he be on the same team with the person trying to who's on his way to taking?
If he wants to win another ring. And also, let me point this out: JaVale McGee. If as much you can say about him, he is a good rim protector. That's about all he can do is protect the rim. See, the Warriors have Zaza Pachulia and Anderson Varejao. Those are 2 offensive-minded centers who can't play defense. JaVale McGee. He's
got a great blooper reel.
JaVale McGee. He cannot play offense for his life, but he's a good rim protector.
All right, Eli, go.
Okay, I think we should... I'm done with this topic. I don't want to talk about the Warriors. They don't deserve my time.
All right, on to our next topic. Who are the most hyped up teams in the NBA? Teams that are overrated, teams that everyone thinks are going to do so well, but you just don't believe they are.
San Antonio Spurs. They are old. I mean, their average age must be 85. You got Tony Parker, old point guard, Manu Ginobili, who is balding in front of our eyes. And then you just sign Pau Gasol. Yes, he's very good, but he is very old now. I think he's in his mid-30s now. This team is tremendously old. They do still have Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge, who are still kind of young and very talented, obviously.
Kind of young.
Pretty young.
I'm going to stop you right now.
Kawhi Leonard, 24.
All right. Yeah,
24.
Kawhi Leonard.
He's great. Don't get me wrong, but look around him.
In my opinion, Kawhi Leonard is going to be the best small forward in the NBA in 3 years. I'm just saying that.
Well, yes,
He's
he
going
will
to be the best small forward in the NBA.
Yes, but now, look at this team.
LaMarcus
in
Aldridge
3 years, I would be
31. LaMarcus Aldridge is 31. Pau Gasol is 35. He's one of those players like Tim Duncan who will be able to play for a very long time. Here's the thing. People, when they look at the Spurs, think of Manu, Tony Parker, now Pau Gasol, not Tim Duncan, thinking that they're old. They still do have young talent. DeJounte Murray, out of Washington, that they got in the draft. Who knows? Knowing the Spurs, he's going to be the next Steph Curry. Because that's just how the Spurs work.
I know. I do like Kyle Anderson.
Kyle Anderson is good.
All right, let's go to Lucas. What's your hyped up team?
What's my hyped up team? The Chicago Bulls. Seriously.
I have to
disagree. They're big three in a league that revolves around the three-point shot. You have Rondo, Wade, Butler. They combined for 133s last year.
Okay.
Those 3 combined would be third on the Warriors behind Steph Curry with 402 and Klay Thompson.
All right, I'm going to just disagree real quick. Rajon Rondo, great passer. He will find the ball to somebody. Jimmy Butler, we saw what kind of a season he had last year. So what if he can't score threes? Not every team is going to be the Warriors. They are a very good team. I promise you that.
All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for In Your Face with NSR. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Ryan Miller.
And the Bulls won't make the playoffs.
Lucas Dodson and Eli Lesser.
They will make the playoffs.
Wow.
Alex Roth.
Ben Pfeiffer. Sam Governor.
All right, we're going to count you down from 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, hello and welcome to the show. Today we're going to be discussing 3 very important sports topics. First we're gonna be talking about, is Joey Bosa at fault by holding out of Chargers training camp because of his contract dispute? Ben, what's your take on this?
I mean, I think he's not. I mean, he was. People gotta remember, he was a top 5 pick in the draft, one of the top college players, and potentially could be a great player. He has incredible motor, he's strong, he's fast, he has great technique, and he potentially could be a force. And they're saying, yeah, he's a rookie, yeah, he hasn't played, which is true. But I think being a top pick, he does deserve some respect and should get more compensation than other people who weren't as top picks or aren't as highly regarded.
Well, even though he does deserve respect, he's still a rookie, as he just said. A rookie needs to know that this is a team sport. This is not just about the player. You need to work with the team. And if you can't work at training camp, you're not working with the team at all. You're actually going against it.
All right. Well, the great opinions there. We're actually going to move on to the next topic, which is LeBron or Kobe. Who has a greater career?
All right, so I'm going to go with LeBron James. LeBron James is the best all-around player ever. There's nobody close. During his prime, nobody even close. During his prime, his athleticism off the charts. He's great on defense, great rebounder. His court vision, we all know how incredible it is. He had a great three-point shot on the Heat. People forget, since he struggles now. He was a very prolific three-point shooter. And of course, he drives to the basket like no one else. He makes his teammates better. And don't forget, his dominance hasn't been seen since the likes of Michael Jordan and Bill Russell. 6 straight years he has made it to the NBA Finals. Sure, he hasn't won them all. He doesn't have the best record in the NBA Finals, but making it to 6 in a row with almost no competition just speaks to how good he is and that he can do it on any team.
Okay, I completely disagree. Kobe Bryant is much better. Even though LeBron is an all-around player, Kobe's shooting ability and the ability he has to lead a team to a championship again and again far outweighs athleticism. Also, you say he went to the finals. He's lost almost half of his final series. Kobe's won almost all of them. He has 5 championships. LeBron has nothing close to that. Everything LeBron needs to do, Kobe already has. Kobe has more points, more championships. Everything you determine as a great player, Kobe has done and LeBron still needs to do. That's why Kobe is a way better player than LeBron James.
Yeah, but you gotta forget that Kobe's played 7 more years than LeBron. Kobe's played 20 years, LeBron's played 13 seasons. He has at least 4 or 5 productive seasons left in his career. Maybe less, but still. And in the Eastern Conference, there is a good chance that next year he will reach the NBA Finals, and so he can just add another ring to his thing.
Well, if you're going to the finals, as you have said, he may lose again.
All right,
now we're going to move on to the last topic of the show today, which is top 2 draft picks in the NFL draft, Carson Wentz and Jared Goff. How good are they going to be in the NFL?
I mean, I think they're going to be solid players. I'm a lot higher on Wentz than I am on Goff because Wentz was incredible at North Dakota State. He won 5 straight titles. There was a point that nobody on that roster had not been to a championship. I think he's mature. They said he's looked really good. He's got all the physical tools. He's big. He's strong. He's got a great arm. He's good. I think Jared Goff is pretty good too. He's a really pro-ready quarterback. He played in the pro-style offense at Cal. I think with a little development, they could both be very good players.
I think Carson Wentz is not NFL ready. He played at North Dakota State, as he said. If he was as good as Ben has just been saying, he'd be playing at a Division I college and not Division II North Dakota State. Honestly, Carson Wentz is on the Eagles team. He's not going to be productive. Also, Jared Goff is on the Rams offense, which is honestly awful. And Jared Goff by himself, even though he is pro ready, does not cut it.
All right, that's going to be the end of the show today. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
This is In Your Face with Anchor Wyatt and I here, along with my co-anchors Jordan Hirsch and Dylan Johnson. And today we will be discussing 3 different topics. Who has the best defensive line in the NFL? Should A-Rod, if he retires, be inducted in the Hall of Fame? And is LeBron better than Jordan or vice versa? Dylan, for our first topic, we'll be talking about the defensive line. Who do you think in the NFL has the most talented defensive line?
The Jets. It has to be the Jets. There's no other team than the Jets. I don't care about the Rams. The Jets have such a better D-line. They're just amazing, and it's everything.
Can you name one player on the defensive line?
Wilkerson.
How about you, Jordan?
It's very cute that you think that.
I think Aaron Donald's the best defensive tackle in the league. You know, he had 20 sacks in the span of 2 years. He's also extremely fast. Don't keep up with him. He can split up in that defense. Also, we have Michael Brockers, Eugene Sims. Oh, yes, I think you've heard of him. Robert Quinn, Akeem Ayers. I think I can go on. No one can stop us.
Yeah, well, the Jets, okay. Seriously, that's great and all, but you named a bunch of players, but seriously, they're all irrelevant. None of them are even that great, okay? You have depth, okay? But literally, nothing. The Jets, they have sacked so many times. They have literally just pancaked people all the way. Nothing beats the Jets. And they're such a better team than the Rams, you can't even argue.
Can you name 5 players from their line?
No, I can't.
All right, I think we're gonna end that topic. Our next topic will be A-Rod. Should he be inducted into the Hall of Fame? Dylan, your thoughts?
Yes, he should. Now, I know people are saying Barry Bonds shouldn't be, and that's because of the PEDs. Now, Alex Rodriguez did take PEDs, but really, Barry Bonds did take PEDs a little longer than Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez does deserve Hall of Fame, everything. What about you?
Nah, man. He lied.
Okay, so do you think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame, huh?
I do think he should be in the
But
Hall
Alex
of Fame.
Rodriguez shouldn't. Okay, well that's bull. Anyways, because Barry Bonds took PEDs longer than Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez, such a great player. No one, and I know Barry Bonds hit more home runs. He has a home run record and all that. But Alex Rodriguez really does deserve it. He plays well, and every year he plays well. And now that he's retiring, really Hall of Fame is in his best interest. He should play Hall of Fame.
Can I put my opinion in for this one?
Yeah.
You may. You may.
For Barry Bonds, it actually has not been proven for the steroids case. So you cannot decide whether or not how many years he took it much longer than A-Rod, because it has not been physically proven, as he won his court case against the MLB. Now, for A-Rod, he has accepted the fact, yes, he did do it, and he has been proven against his will that he has used PEDs.
That's because A-Rod is a man. Barry Bonds still hasn't confessed up to PEDs, so that makes him a little wimp. All right. Anyways, we can go on to the next.
All right. To the next topic, we have LeBron or Jordan. Your thoughts, Dylan?
LeBron. No one beats LeBron. LeBron is so much bigger, so much stronger. Okay. Now they're both not that great of shooters. Okay, we know that. They're both decent shooters, but they never were known for their great shooting. They're dunkers. They can push people back in the paint. Both great defensive players. Just Jordan doesn't beat LeBron.
Okay, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 MVPs, 6 Finals MVPs, 6 championships. What's LeBron's record in the finals?
I don't even know.
It's actually 3-4.
All right, well,
but 6 championships, 6 Finals MVP, 2 3-peats. I don't know. He's also incredibly good at perimeter defense. He can also shoot from literally anywhere on the field.
Except for the 3-point line.
Actually, no, he can't shoot from the 3-point line.
He can, but not as well as he can do other things. Anyways, that's because Jordan had an actual good team. LeBron was stuck with the freaking Cleveland Cavaliers all his time. All right.
I guess we're going to wrap it up here. Good arguments, you guys, on both sides, and that'll be it for In Your Face. I'm White Nye, signing off with my partners Jordan Hirsch and Dylan Johnson.
Andrew Wilson.
Peter Snevas.
Shane Wilk.
All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hi, I'm your host, I'm your host, Peter Snevas. We are doing In Your Face today. I'm along with Andrew Wilson and Shane Wilk. Now let's start with the AL East. What are your guys' predictions? Of course, it's the tightest race in baseball.
Right now, even though they're in third place, they're only 2.5 games out. I think the Boston Red Sox will win this division. I think the Boston Red Sox are going to the World Series, where they will lose to the Cubs. I think the Boston Red Sox, people trash their rotation a lot, but really the only problems in their rotation right now are Eduardo Rodriguez and David Price. David Price, I know, can be the best lefty in this league when he's on, but he's not on right now. And I think once he makes some tweaks to his game, because when he came into Boston, he tweaked his game and it made it worse because he thought he could get better, but he couldn't. He was at his maximum potential. So once Price reverts to his old style of pitching, then I think he will be as good, if not better, than he was when he was with the Blue Jays in the second half last year. And then the only weak link in there will be Eduardo Rodriguez, and that's one guaranteed loss. That's
I mean, the guy can win games, but that's one probable loss every 5 games. And the Red Sox, they have a starting pitcher who's an all-star in Steven Wright. They have another all-star starting pitcher in Drew Pomeranz that they just acquired from the Padres. And they have an all-star closer in Craig Kimbrell. And along with their offense, which is tops in the majors by far, they have the best hitting shortstop in the league in Xander Bogaerts. They have one of the best outfields in the league with Holt, Bradley, and Betts. And so I think they will win this division, and I think Toronto and Baltimore will earn the AL's 2 wildcard spots.
The Red Sox do definitely have a good chance of winning the division. I still have to go with the Blue Jays just because I believe that their batting is so strong with Batista and Encarnacion, and with the additions last year of Donaldson and Tulowitzki, plus Anibal Sanchez is at the top of his game right now at 11-2 right now, and an under 2.5 ERA.
All right, on to our second topic. Andrew.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, I'm sorry. Kevin Durant signed with the Warriors, of course, huge contract, making the Warriors even better of a team. And they now have 4 amazing players, I would say. Do you think the Warriors will win the will win the NBA Finals?
This year?
I don't think they'll win the finals this year. I think they will win a finals with Green, Durant, Thompson, Curry. I do think they will, but definitely not in the first year. You have to look at the Heat when they first made their first big 3. They had Chris Bosh, LeBron, Dwayne Wade. The chemistry isn't guaranteed the first year. They went to the finals, they lost. Then the Cavaliers with Kyrie Irving, Love, and LeBron. They went to the finals and they lost. Now with this team coming together, the chemistry isn't guaranteed that a player like Durant, coming from the Thunder, taking the big shots at the end of the game, is now coming to a team that is known for sharing the ball like the Spurs.
I see where you're coming from there, but for me, saying the Warriors aren't going to win an NBA title this year is actually saying that Kevin Durant won't improve this team at all. They went to Game 7 of the NBA Finals where they lost. If you were saying that they're not going to win a championship, you're saying that Kevin Durant is going to make them worse. Kevin Durant, a top 5 player, is going to make the best regular season team outside of the 96 Bulls worse? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't think he'll make him a worse team overall, but just because you're getting a better player that will fill that small forward spot better than Iguodala would, that it's not guaranteed that Curry, Thompson, Durant, and Green are all going to play well together. It doesn't mean that they're all going to play well as a team. He definitely will improve the team, but to the extent to beat the Cavaliers.
All right. Thank you for listening. This was In Your Face.
I'm Caleb Strange with Jesse Rosiak and Joshua Feinhurst. Now, Jesse, who do you think the Cubs will win the World Series?
Of course. They were the first team this year to reach 70 games. Doesn't look like they're going to be stopping soon. And the Cardinals are 12 games behind them. It's no way that they'll catch up.
What do you have to say about this?
Just because the Cardinals are 12 games behind, obviously they won't catch up. But there's also something called a wild card. Just, I'm not saying the Cardinals will win. I actually think that the Texas Rangers will win the World Series just because of their hitting. They have Adrian Beltre, Elvis Andrews. They have other players that I can't name, but I know for sure that they have others. And that they can beat the Cubs in a 7-game series. It will be close no matter what team the Cubs will be facing.
We were the first team in over 20 years to have all of our infield in the All-Star game. How do you top that?
So what? That's called fan voting. That's not necessarily means that they're the best. That's called fans. Just because they have more fans doesn't mean that they're better than anyone else.
All right, Josh, how do you feel about Kevin Durant's trade, and what does this do for the Warriors organization?
This makes the Warriors partly a super team. If they had one more superstar, because they don't have a superstar at center, but if they were to have a superstar center, then they would be a total super team. This is a near total super team that you are talking about here. I think that they will have some chemistry issues. Obviously, they're going to be good. I think they're going to do the same as last year. I don't know if they can win the finals. The Spurs will obviously be putting pressure on them in the West. And I think the Clippers have a good chance of getting in that 3rd seed now that OKC lost Durant. I think OKC is still a playoff team, probably an 8th seed. but they could still get in. I think the Warriors are going to happen with the same thing that happened last year, that they're going to lose to the Cavs in 7 in the finals.
They are definitely going to win. They have 4 amazing players: Green, Curry, Thompson, and now Durant. This would be icing on the cake of his career, winning a title. So it's going to be amazing no matter how way you slice it.
I have some advice for you. Take the high road in life, not the easy road. That's what Durant did.
Okay.
He's taking the easy road.
All right.
Never do that.
And who do you guys think is the greatest quarterback of all time? But before you answer, personally, it is Tom Brady. All right, go ahead.
It's Joe Montana. He has won over 35 awards in his career, and he has 31 fourth quarter comebacks. How do you beat that?
I was going to say about that. It's called, he had somebody named Jerry Rice. If he didn't have Jerry Rice, let's see how many he would have then.
Every great quarterback needs to rely on their teammates. No one could do it alone.
I know that, but Jerry Rice was just over the top superb. So, yeah. All right, I honestly think that it's Dan Marino. He didn't have any superstars. He still did it. He, of course, didn't win a Super Bowl, but he still got to the Super Bowl multiple times and was very close to winning. This shows that he's able to rely on skills and other people who weren't big names to be able to win. And that means a lot to me in a good quarterback.
All right, well, do we think the Cubs are going to win the World Series? She thinks yes, he thinks no. Kevin Durant's trade, it will work, it will not work. Greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Dan Marino. I'm Caleb Strange, signing off with Jesse and Josh. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jack Chastain, and we are going in your face with Van Nolan and Owen Nolan, twin against twin. Their first subject today is who is going to win the NL West, the Dodgers or the Giants?
I'm going to have to start with the Giants. They were one of the best teams in the National League before the All-Star break. They were just dominating every team they played. The Dodgers pitching staff has been injured for most of the year. Clayton Kershaw will possibly not return for the whole year. And the Dodgers offense, that has been something will, I believe, get back into it. And by the time October rolls around, it's about who gets hot. It's about getting hot at the right time. And I think the Giants have that capability. You said getting hot at the right time. The Giants have been terrible since the All-Star break. One of the worst records in baseball. The Dodgers, on the other hand, they're 1 game back in the NL West. They've been on fire. At one point, they were 8 games back. I think they're the hot team right now. That's why I think they're going to win the NL West. Every team goes through slumps in a 162-game season. This is just one for the Giants, and as a team that was as hot as the Giants, you would have to believe they would go into a little slump at some point. By the time September, October, even November rolls around, I think the Giants will get it back in track with their great pitching staff and offense. You have to remember that the Dodgers are missing Clayton Kershaw, their ace, the best pitcher in baseball. They're also missing a lot of other starters. Scott Kazmir's been good for them. He's not an ace, though. They've had a lot of injuries. Once they get even 1 or 2 of those guys back, I think they can win the NL West.
Okay, now on to your guys' next topic. Who is the best wide receiver in the game today in NFL?
Hands down, Antonio Brown. I know some could argue there's a lot of great wide receivers, but Antonio Brown truly is the best wide receiver today. Especially with Ben Roethlisberger as his quarterback, they have that connection, and I think he really is. He's not a big physical wide receiver. He's a small, speedy guy. He can return punts, kicks, and he gets a lot of receiving yards. I would have to disagree. I'm going to have to go with Odell Beckham Jr. He is clearly the most talented wide receiver you've seen. All of his one-handed catches. He makes insane catches, and he's a great route runner, as well as the physical ability that Antonio Brown lacks.
Wait, what is it? All right, and then your next topic. Who is going to win the national championship in the NCAA?
I am going to have to go with LSU. I think being carried by Leonard Fournette, I think he can get them back onto the right track after their rough end to last season with Les Miles still being their coach. I think he will lead them past the SEC West and into the college football playoff. I think in the college football playoff they might have to play an Alabama team. I can see two SEC teams make it, so I have Alabama there. I think they can get past Alabama with Leonard Fournette. I think he really carries that team.
You think they can get past Alabama with Leonard Fournette? I get Leonard Fournette is one of the best running backs in the country, but defense wins championships. Alabama, year in and year out, has the best defense in college football. You cannot score against Alabama's defense, and their offense is really good. Calvin Ridley, probably one of the best wide receivers in the country, and he's only a sophomore. So he'll be returning at least not just this year, but next year. But we're talking about this year. Alabama's going to win the national title. Last year, you saw they stopped Leonard Fournette and Leonard Fournette started off the season really hot, and then once he played Alabama, it kind of went downhill from there. I think the same thing's going to happen this year, and Alabama will repeat as national champions.
That was your last topic today. Thanks for coming in, guys. I'm Jack Chastain, and this is wrapping up In Your Face.
Hello and welcome to In Your Face. I'm your host, Van Nolan, along with Andrew and Jack. Today we have a couple of topics to discuss with you guys. Let's start with who you think is the greatest NFL quarterback of all time.
Yeah, I have to go with Tom Brady. I mean, this guy has just improved every single year when people was like, and then people say he's a cheater, but I don't think he's a cheater. He had nothing to do with this deflating. He won fair and square. I think it should be Tom Brady. And if you look at his numbers, he is top 5 in most passing yards in the top with Dan Marino, Drew Brees, and it goes on, and most passing touchdowns, and he's the greatest QB of all time.
I have to disagree with you there, Andrew. I believe it is Joe Montana from the 49ers because he was so prolific. He was able to play for such a long time and keep his stats up and going. Like for a 3-year span, he had at most 3,630 yards, 3,910 yards, sorry. And then for the next 2 years, he consistently held 3,000 yards.
Our next topic.
Hold on. And Tom Brady is the second, he led the league in pass. Okay. He broke the record in 2007 when he won league MVP, most passing touchdowns in a season. After that, it was Peyton Manning, but it was okay.
Yes, that is true. But the fact is that Joe Montana was able to hold so many. 90% of his career, he threw over double digits in passing touchdowns. 1 year he had 31. In the next 3 years, he had double digits in every single one, and almost every one was 20 touchdowns each.
Our next topic, guys, is who do you guys think is the best NFL defensive player of all time?
Yeah, I gotta go with Lawrence Taylor. I mean, this dude was just incredible. He was just nowhere, and he would scare the living heck out of you. He would come from every direction you go. He was just a pass, and and if I recall, he was the last defensive player to win league MVP and win the Super Bowl. So I gotta go with Lawrence Taylor.
And I have to disagree with you again. You're completely wrong. It is the one and only Night Train Lane. He was a defensive back. He was one of the best defensive backs to ever play. In 1 year, in his rookie season, he had 14 interceptions, returned them for 298 yards, and had 2 touchdowns, and one of them was an 80-yard interception return.
It's not too bad, but you got to remember, he was more of a DB. Lawrence Taylor was more of a pass rusher and attacking the quarterback and the running back. That was his ability. See, what was your player again?
Night Train Lane.
Night Train Lane. He was a DB, sensational, interceptions and all that. But you got to remember, Lawrence Taylor, remember what he did against Joe Theismann? That was incredible.
Yes, but Night Train Lane had 1,207 interception yards, 5 interception returns. He also had, and that was in his entire career, and in 6 years he had 628 interception returns.
Our last topic for the day is who do you guys think is the best NBA center of all time?
Do you want to go first?
I have to go with Bill Russell. He was just an absolute monster out there. He would average 23.5 rebounds a game. He was scoring. And what's an undervalued thing he was able to pass the ball. When you look at his career, he had 4.3 assists per game. That's unheard of nowadays in centers that are able to pass it.
I gotta go with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. This guy matches any other player in the NBA with total points, rebounds, pass, blocks. The greatest scorer in NBA history, has them third all time in rebounds, third all time in blocks. He's 6-time champion, 6-time league MVP, has the most league MVPs in NBA history, and 2-time Finals MVP. He's just incredible.
Yes.
And he has the most unstoppable move of all time, the skyhook.
Okay, thank you guys for watching. This has been In Your Face with Jack and Andrew. I'm Van Nolan.
I'm Andrew Diaz.
I'm Jack Chastain.
Have a good night, everyone.
Well, I'm Jared Merrill.
Carson Binder.
Alex Weissfus.
Okay, coming down in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome to
In
Your
Face.
Our first topic is MLB. Who won and who lost the trade deadline?
I gotta go with the Texas Rangers. I mean, they picked up Jonathan Lucroy, Carlos Beltran, who are both veterans, and Lucroy is a great catcher, and adding to that Rangers offense. I gotta go with the Rangers as winners.
You know, I have to agree. I mean, by this trade deadline, they literally doubled their offense. They got their DH, their base fielder, they had everything they needed in that trade deadline.
Now, who lost?
I gotta go with the Minnesota Twins. I mean, they picked up Hector Santiago. I mean, their pitching was already weak enough, and picking up another weak pitcher. And who's their cleanup hitter? Oh yeah, Max Kepler, a random rookie. You need a powerhouse hitter there. I don't think that was good for the Twins.
What about you, Jared?
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree. I think the Dodgers, they lost their number one starter, Rich Hill. He's 9-3 with a sub ERA under 2.5. And then you got Josh Reddick. He's been really hot for the A's, and I think it's a big loss.
And just
how are the Dodgers losers in that though? They got a solid pitcher in Rich Hill and a great outfielder in Josh.
I meant the A's are losers in that one.
All right, so he meant the A's.
The A's lost in that
Oakland
one.
A's
they lost 2 players that I think that they needed in their.
But they were both high salary caps. Josh Reddick was hitting 225. He's injury prone, and Rich Hill was just a random rookie, and he did not do as well.
Well, he's not injury prone, but he's really a good outfielder. He's really covered some ground there. He's really hot with the bat, and Rich Hill has been amazing since the first game of the season.
Yeah, but you have and for the Oakland A's, they have a solid 3 outfielders in Coco Chris, Max Muncy, and I think they picked up a right fielder from the Texas Rangers and that they released.
I don't think Max Muncy is nowhere close to solid. I think that Coco Chris maybe he's a lot of speed and power, but I think they lost a big name in Josh Reddick and Rich Hill for their rotation.
It's interesting. We have agreement for the winners and a disagreement for the losers. Okay, next topic we have the NBA. Did David Blatt deserve to be fired after being in first place in the East? What do you think, Jared?
I don't think so. I mean, the team was running well with them, and the A's didn't win that past year. I have no idea why they fired him.
I gotta go with no. Yes, he deserved to be fired because all the teammates all the players did not like him. Nobody said he was a good coach, and he just did not have a great likeness with the players. And I like Tyronn Lue as their coach.
So you think that David Blatt should not have been fired?
Should not have been fired.
And you think he should have?
Yes.
Next, we got our NFL topic, Jared. What do you think of your topic?
What was it again?
I have no idea. I forgot.
Fitzpatrick.
Oh,
Fitzpatrick.
I'm sorry. Ryan Fitzpatrick. A little error there. Ryan Fitzpatrick getting an extension. Do you think he deserved it?
I think he did. I mean, he showed the Jets what he can do last year, and I thought that was great. He did a great job. Almost got into the playoffs, but just a little bit short, but I like the money that he got.
But I disagree. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick's a great quarterback, but I don't think he deserved as much money as he got in his first year with the Jets. Yeah, he had $3 million a year, and he just boosted up to $12 million. Why can't you just agree on $6 million? I mean, he's not even that good of a quarterback. He's like maybe top 15 if lucky. He doesn't deserve $12 million. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, that's surprising coming from a Jets fan, dude. Isn't he your good quarterback right now?
Yes, he is a great quarterback, but I don't think he deserves $12 million. He's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
What's everybody else getting paid?
What do you mean everyone else?
Andrew Luck.
You're gonna compare Ryan Fitzpatrick to Aaron Rodgers and Andrew Luck and Tom Brady? Really? Those are top 5 quarterbacks in the league. Ryan Fitzpatrick's not even top 10.
Then what about like Kirk Cousins and what about Blake Bortles? How much are they getting paid per year?
Probably around like $4 or $5 million.
All right, guys, we got to discuss this later, maybe outside the show. I'm your host, Carson Binder. If it's in
your face.
Thank you.